everybody, how's it going? So, some of you have asked what the place looks like, how do we decorate? This is going to be a little embarrassing, I'll be honest with you. We kind of never did. So last year, that when we moved into this place, there was the whole Eugene situation. After getting screwed over by Eugene, Sonny came and fixed things, but I was also traveling for Right to Repair stuff, so I went to Maryland, Maine a few times, Washington, there's one other that I don't even remember, and that took up a lot of my time flying back and forth. Then after we moved in, we were behind terribly because we had moved from one store to the other, where we already had too much business for the amount of people that worked there, to here. Then COVID happened, and I was doing the work of a couple of the people that stayed home. I had to kind of redo the store layout a little bit so that stuff was further apart. I was kind of stressed out as to whether or not I was going to be allowed to stay open, whether or not I would go bankrupt, what if other people stay home and I'm paying them the whole thing. So there was a lot of mess there. Then there was a surge of business followed by a deadening in business where we had to clean stuff up. So it's kind of been a mess, and so I honestly don't know if I am going to be staying in New York at this point, so I'm not exactly fully invested in continuing to, well, I shouldn't even say continuing because I never finished setting up, but I just thought I'd kind of show you around. So over here we have something that my stepmom made for me. This is at the front of the store. I have to get rid of this adhesive that's on it. It kind of ruins the frame, but this is Blackberry the Kitten and Mr. Clinton. I didn't have Oreo at this time. It was the time my apartment was a little bit cleaner, but yeah, so that's Blackberry and that's Clinton. That's at the front of the store. And these are the Christmas trees. Now in the front of the store we have a desk here with power supply, USB-C amp meter, and some other basic tools just to be able to give some basic diagnosis. And also in the front of the store there is a set of recycled junk. This is all junk over there that, those are like just the destroyed machines that you could grab parts from. And this is a diagnosis desk for a tech that works up here. I really don't like those layouts where you have a perfectly beautiful front shop and then all the tech work gets done behind closed doors. I kind of like the fact that someone with a microscope, a screen, a soldering iron, soldering station, multimeter is literally right there. So, they're within earshot of the customer to be able to say, oh yeah, I'm measuring this is what's going on. I like that kind of setup. I don't want to hide that, and I kind of appreciate that. As you all know, we got fined for selling laptops because we didn't have documentation of us purchasing them. I only got documentation of the customer saying, you can keep it, which apparently isn't good enough for the person who didn't look at it. So we no longer sell laptops. They are just going to be parted out, which, as Steve has been arguing for a really long period of time, actually makes more money. It actually makes more financial sense to do it that way. So in the front, we have a just giant Supreme sticker on front of these plushies, and before the DCA guy comes in and says there's no price on those, fuck off, they're not for sale. Now, I actually got a mailed version of the final thing where I was offered an opportunity to pay a settlement for that and something else, but it came after I could pay what the settlement was for something else. I wound up, one of the things that many may not understand is the Department of Consumer Affairs, they're not exactly very good when it comes to mailing you your licenses. So for instance, up here you'll see I have a license that is actually expired. This expired a year ago, and I have next to it in the case a receipt that shows that I paid for the license literally at this point in time. Yeah, that's going to be a year old next week. I've been calling them trying to get a new one mailed. They never have. So it was one of the settlements I wasn't able to pay in time. And you can't pay it online because their website doesn't work. You can't pay it at the Department of Consumer Affairs when you show up, because they don't accept payment in person. You have to send an email to set up an appointment to pay it. The email never answers, so I tried to pay it on the phone. I'm eventually going to post that phone call. I'm going to post it when I get the letter. I spent 2 hours on the phone after spending 3 hours on hold, and after that entire thing, it took them over 2 hours to figure out what to fine me. They said they were going to mail it to me, and if I don't pay that, the fine is bigger. But I haven't gotten it in the mail, and it's been several weeks. And it's kind of my hope that I'm out of New York by the time that whole situation comes. Because as you can see, they don't know how to use the mail. It's so funny. So this is, someone made this and sent it. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I forget your name at this point. That is the YouTube plaque over there. That is the Department of Consumer Affairs shit that I sign, that I'm probably going to light on fire when I eventually, move to Texas, Florida, or Tennessee. This is more recycled garbage. This is just stuff that I haven't even had time to look through yet. Just most of those are again, everything's destroyed out here. There's nothing worthwhile. It's literally a broken Wi-Fi card, and that's it. This is the incoming section over here. I have my security thingy panel over there for the alarm system, This is Camille's desk. He does really good board repair work. This is a shipping station. Everything's organized by the model. Before the machines get shipped out, they get tested, and they also get cleaned off with this thing called UVEX. So UVEX is a lens cleaner. It's like Windex, but a lot more sensitive, so it's not going to rip off retina screens on the A1502s with stain gate. There's a microfiber cloth there, so Adrian will test them. He'll turn it on, clean it off before we send it out. It's, you know, if someone gets something back that actually smells kind of like it was cleaned and like looks like it was cleaned, it gives you a better impression. This is store.rossmangroup.com over here, so these are the chipsets that you can buy on store.rossmangroup.com. This is a rubber band ball that Adrian has been working on, which lends me to believe that I've been giving him too little shipping work recently. No, I'm fucking with him. I used to do the same thing when I worked at Modell's. It's kind of fun. But his rubber band ball looks a lot nicer than mine. More stuff from store.rossmangroup.com. Junk. This is Chris's station. Chris is like one of the best techs here. I'm just gonna be honest. He puts me to shame. He has a video or two here on the channel where he's doing something to a micro SD card. He puts me to shame. This guy's a fucking genius. So that's his Zalmau over here. He actually used to work in Poland with one of those Skotel IR6000 stations. And when he saw that I had this in the basement, he damn near wanted to cry. It's like, what the hell are you doing with this in the basement? So I actually brought into the store my Skotel IR6000 that's been sitting in my closet for a long time. And he got a look at that and he kind of laughed because he used to have to use that piece of shit too. He's got this machine over here that I think has a PC3000 card in it. I actually can't tell from here. I think he's using the portable PC3K. I gotta look that up. But yeah, he's got all sorts of crazy data recovery shit here. You can see that thing. This shit. Yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. He like does, you know, the PCH swaps. He'll, you know, replace the top or the bottom layer. I mean, like one of the layers of the T2 chip when it's shorted, but the other layer is still good. It's like he's crazy. He does all sorts of cool stuff, and that's his machine, and that's his strong Pepe, you know, with the muscular pecs, just like him. I think that's him shooting with Steve in paintball over there. And this is his desk. It's absolutely like amazing what he's able to do. He is he solves shit that just like nobody else here solves, and he's so humble about it. It's amazing. Actually, yeah, here's his portable PC3K. He has this one. He uses this one. I don't know why we have the portable version, but I think, you know, it was a discount or something, so we took it. This is Dan's desk. Dan used to be the shipping person, and he got so sick and tired of doing shipping that he decided, you know, to walk over from the shipping desk over here, half an hour every day when it was slow or dead, or, you know, just stay an extra half hour. And after a few months, you know, I asked him, "Do you want to do board repair?" And he said yes. And I was like, "All right, we're going to get you scheduled doing some board repairs." So we gave him some simple ones, some recycled machines that belonged to the store, so that if they got fucked up, who you know, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't belong to a customer. And he's now one of the better technicians here. I'd say he's better than me, although again, that's setting a really low bar. And also, these are Axiom M60 speakers here. These sound very similar to the Paradigm Studio 60s that cost about 3 to 4 times as much money, or the B&W 703s, which are like 5 times as much money. I remember when those speakers used to be $800. You can see what inflation did to them. These are the reassembly desks. I believe we have a married couple that works in this section. It's been here for about 5 or 6 years, give or take. I think like 1 or 2 years for leaving for a kid. And this is a desk. This is mostly reassembly and testing, like reassembly test when it's busy, and screen replacements. And same thing over here. You have a desk for reassembly, mostly reassembly, keyboard, screen replacements. So that's why these desks look a little neater, because you don't need a lot of tools for that. Like 99% of what you got to do here is testing. So you have your test drive that you boot from over here and your screwdrivers, but there's not much else that goes on here. These are just little parts bins. So again, we sell a lot of little things on store.rossmangroup.com. You know, charge port, trackpad, cable, stuff like that. I'm not really that good with the accessories because there are people selling stuff on eBay for, honestly, I think it's probably less than what I even pay for it. But so it's not really that competitive. But we sell it, and we also use it in the store, and that's the inventory here. This is Steve's donor drive section. He has gigantic sections filled with donor drives, and this is part of it right over here. These are all acoustic panels on the walls, because when you have the fume extractors running all day, and you have a fume extractor and a hot air gun, and you're in a space that has a lot of reverberation, it increases your stress. And I've noticed that the stress is decreased if you the stress is decreased if you have the acoustic panels. This is a desk that's not used. I got a little too excited at one point with hiring, and I realized I was hiring people that didn't weren't exactly the most experienced or able to do stuff. So at this point, this desk is pretty much a floater desk. It honestly doesn't even get used, and everything in there is just recycled junk at this point. This is Paul's desk. Paul's desk is absolutely fucking crazy. He has all sorts of ridiculous shit over here. Anytime someone sends something in the mail, it winds up here. So, like, again, like, you know, I don't even think Paul votes, and there's that MAGA hat over there. You know, he doesn't run a farm, yet he has a fucking cattle prod over here. Like, pretty much every random thing that comes in the mail that is just something that got sent in from a fan or is just a trolley thing, winds up on his desk. Like, there's this thing, I don't even know what the hell that shit is, but there's all sorts of crazy shit over here, virtually all the time. And there's like a mouse trap over here, but there's no mouse in it, and there's no bait, which is probably why he has no mice. But yeah, this is Paul's desk. That monitor that he has over here, this is 30 hertz. That's 4K 30 hertz with like a half a second input lag. It's fucking horrible. Seiki doesn't even have that on their website. They won't even acknowledge that at one point in time they sold that piece of shit. But it was $300 something. It was like $300 back in $300 back in 2014 with free shipping. You couldn't beat it. So I used to use that for schematics. This is, you know, a bunch of iPhone, iPad parts for David. David does the data recoveries here, so, you know, like CPU swap kind of crap and all sorts of other crazy shit that's necessary to, you know, fix iPhones that have been in the ocean or run over by a car. And this is his setup. He has that power supply. I'm a little jealous of there. It has 2 outputs. Mine doesn't. All these little pieces and tools and stuff over here. I kind of feel like I'm getting out of touch because I don't even know what half of this shit does. I'll be honest with you. I don't know what that thing is. I don't know what that thing. I don't know. I never really did much work on iPhones. I think the last time I replaced a screen on an iPhone was like 2014, 2015 or something. But yeah, I don't really do I've done maybe a few board repairs on them, but I don't do a bunch of iPhone board repair. He has this, no coffee, no worky, but he can't spell coffee. One of the things about David, actually I can't even show you it now, I think someone took it down. He used to have a calendar over here, and the calendar was so weird because it was nothing but cats pooping on each page. It was incredibly strange, and I was going to show it to you when I came by the station, but it appears to be gone. So this is Steve's station. This is, he has one clean room over here. Well, not clean room, laminar flow bench to be exact. This is a Pure Air VLF48, pretty nice. He has another Pure Air VLF48 over here. There wasn't really a lot of time for the data recovery videos, but we have a camera mounted in there that honestly I think we've used like once or twice. I haven't really been making the time for the repair videos, and honestly nobody watches them anyway, so no big loss there. But yeah, this is his station. He keeps everything very clean. As you can see, his phone is smiling at him. That's his phone. That's the phone. And you've got a broken speaker over there that the Bluetooth on it doesn't work. You have a credit card, which for the love of God I hope I did not put on camera, but I'm using an LG phone to record it, so you know that the quality is not going to be good enough to get that anyway. I think he has this COVID vaccine sticker here, because like the reason that I think that is there is someone here, and I'm not going to say who, was talking about not wanting to wear a mask when they go places, so they were just going to wear this shit so that it looked like they got the vaccine, and I think Steve or I took it away from him. But this is a meme. I think this is like, oh my god, this can't be what I think it is. Is this what I think it is? You know what? No, I'm not even going to show that other sticker. Fuck that. That's just asking for it. This is a... these are all recycled trash drives. So like I think 99% of those drives are pretty much trash, worthless junk at this point. That is a Nerf basketball thing that has caused a bit of heartache among some people here. Some keyboards, batteries, screens, stuff like that, just general junk here. This is Orhan's desk. He is Steve's new trainee and assistant. He has been working next to Steve for the last 3 years now. And for the last 2 years, he has been learning data recovery. For the last year, he started doing that mostly full-time as, you know, a full-time junior data recovery person. And you can see he's got another one of these machines with a PC3000 right over here. That's his little PC3000. Those things are so effing expensive. What do we got back here? So that's a bathroom. That's another bathroom. This is a crazy bicycle. So this is a bike that can do about 300 miles in one charge. If you drive like a crazy person, like, you know, if you're going 47 miles an hour and, you know, full throttle every time you want to start it, maybe you'll get 190 or 200 miles out of it. These are EM3 EV batteries. Each battery has, each cell each cell individually fused. Then there's a fuse in the output. Then because I'm not going to settle for just that, there's a fuse on each individual one after that externally. Everything is liquid resistant over here. You got liquid resistant heat shrink, XT90s, beautiful crimps. This has a space for someone to sit on, so someone could travel with it. I got my lights over here. It's off right now. I got my turn signal, my wireless phone charger. GoPro camera mount over there. Wired chargers that can be turned on at the click of a button. My mirrors, which are kind of messed up at this moment. I have a fire extinguisher over here. There's an e-waste container over here. This is the e-waste container for batteries. It's not fireproof, but it's better than just putting the shit in a normal trash can. So for the lithium batteries, we store them in here until e-waste picks them up, rather than storing it in an unsafe container. Let's see. These are recycled machines that are worthless. Like the stuff in here is probably shit that should just get thrown away. Again, you have like shit like this in here. Like this is just trolling. This is a meme. This is yeah. What the fuck is this? What even is this? Like what the fuck? Yeah, using this as a donor. Get this the fuck out of here. Yeah, there's like A1181s. Everything in here has had everything taken from it, as you can see. Like this. Look at it. Like 90% of that is just complete utter gutter trash. This is my office. I have not been using my office as much for streaming for a number of reasons I'm not going to get into here. Erica has been pretty much turning my office into a fucking Toreba prize collection, so that I have shelves upon shelves of this stuff, which is driving me nuts. At some point I'm going to wind up selling them before my secondhand dealer license expires, which I will be letting it expire. That is some of the flooring. I have some extra flooring, so if anybody wants this stuff, I may be selling it at an extreme discount at some point in the future. I have a bunch of it in the basement I don't really need. Let's see. So this is the repair desk over here. You got the multimeter, the stream deck, Windex as well as Uvex if you want something more mild, some alcohol, solder paste, flux. Always got to have the flux over there. You got the hot air station, microphone, camera, lighting, overhead camera, lighting for the microscope camera over here. And my donor board collection of shitty donor boards is over there for anytime I need a donor board. I have some of my I have some papers over there. That looks like mostly bank documents and a book for a new company that I had started about a year ago, and for the other 2 nonprofits that I had started over the past few months. This is honestly just bike shit. So this is mostly for my bike hobby, the crap that I just collected from the old store. I really got to sort through this stuff. There's a reason that the other bike, everything is wired really like, inside of... Let me show you. So like on this bike, as you can see, pretty much everything is sleeved. So like these wires over here, all of this is nicely sleeved. It's nicely sleeved and tied and everything. And the battery is in a nice bag. And in this bike over here, you may notice that is not the case. That is not true. I have actually artificially tried to make this one look as fucked up as possible so that it doesn't get stolen. So what I did is I cut up the bag a little bit, and then I tossed a bunch of caulking material over here, and then I poured some junky dust on it. I have this little circuit breaker over here. It's actually sitting outside, and I poured some caulking material of the opposite color over it. I have this wire just kind of hanging out over here, and what I'm going for over here is I want the person who goes to steal this bicycle to think that if they steal it, that they are going to be electrocuted and die. That's the look that I'm going for. So if you park something outside where I live, if you take this bike and you lock it outside and it looks nice, it will be stolen the next day. You could lock it to a fucking stop sign. They'll come by with I forget the word. They'll come by with an angle grinder and cut that shit in the middle of the day, and it'll be gone. I know that because this is like my 5th or 6th bike. So one of the things that I've learned is if I want to park this outside, I need to be smart. So what I do is I kind of engineer it while it's functional, while none of the wires are going to get in the way of anything, I engineer it to look as fucked up as possible so that it doesn't look like it's actually worth money. Because if people even get the slightest idea that what you own is worth money, it will be immediately stolen. Even if you get, the really heavy-duty locks. I got the heavy-duty locks, but what I find is that if they're not able to cut these, and I have 2 of them. I have this one over here. That's one lock. And then I have the other one, and usually I lock This is the other bike I kind of engineered to look shitty as well. I have this lock over here, and I'll use both of them. What they'll do is they'll cut what I lock it to. And so what I do is I go out of my way to make it look as shitty as possible. I add these little touches to make it look dirty or screwed up, or I don't want to touch that. What if I get electrocuted? If you look at that and you think you're about to get electrocuted, then I've done my job. It means that you're not going to try to steal. So that works. And like even just having the chassis open like this on this one, but I don't take this one outside. I don't lock this one outside ever, because if I lock this outside, it would actually be stolen. Again, you don't have rip lines over here. It doesn't look scary. It looks put together right. So I try to make my electric bike look scary so that I could lock it outside with no fear of theft. And again, once you've had like 5 bikes taken in a row, it's like, fuck this. You figure out a way that works, and that's actually worked. I've looked at neighbors' camera footage, and I've seen where people were about to mess with it, and you could see them look at it and then go, no, I'm going to move on to the next one. And it's funny, because the ones that got stolen, one of them that got stolen actually got taken the night before I went to electrify it. So that was actually worth less. It did not have a battery on it. It did not have a motor on it. It had nothing on it. But because it had nothing on it, it looked like it was worth more. So the lesson that I learned here is the shittier you make it look, like if you're going to, put some fucked up looking paint on it, throw a bunch of sand, so shitty sandy-ish dust on it or whatever, it's good because it'll keep people from stealing it. And one of my goals when I move is I would like to move someplace eventually where I'm not in the middle of nowhere, but if I put something outside of my home that even has a modicum of value when I lock it up, someone won't come by with an angle grinder at 3 p.m. or a.m. to immediately destroy whatever it's attached to so that they can take it. That's just one of my life goals, but we'll see about that. So this is pretty much it. This is the store. Oh, this is the sign.